Good morning. So, I just wanted to kind of continue what we were talking about last week on the solar system. We're going to kind of review today and talk about the sun and the planets. So, in our solar system, of course, the sun is at the center. The sun is our brightest star, like it says here. The sun gives off heat and light, and that's where our plants get energy from the sun. The sun warms the ocean. It allows some of us to get electricity. So these rays travel through space, these heat waves. And like it says here, the sun is the source of almost all of the energy on Earth. So most of the energy that we have is somehow received by the sun. After the sun, we have planets. So in the center of our solar system, we have the sun, and then we have our planets on the outside going around the sun. The order of our planets is Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. The first four, which is Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, they are the inner planets. So we are going to refer to them as the inner planets. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune will be referred to as the outer planets. An easy way to kind of remember these in order is by the acronym, my very energetic mom just served us nachos. That's just a way you can remember this to kind of help us know the order, because that's going to be important for us to know. I know some of you have already seen these PowerPoints, which is fine, but like I said, we're going to kind of review, make sure we kind of know each planet. So the first planet is Mercury. It is the closest planet to the sun, and it's just a little bit bigger than our moon. It travels the fastest out of the planets, mostly because it's so close to the sun. It can travel around the sun quicker. It is a rocky planet and has a lot of dust and a lot of craters, kind of like the moon does. It says it can reach 800 degrees, and it can get as low as 300 degrees, which is still pretty hot. So because Mercury is so close to the sun, it is very, very hot. Our second planet is Venus. This is actually our hottest planet. So it's about the same size of Earth. It actually has mountains, valleys, kind of like Earth does, and it is covered by thick clouds which actually rain down acid. Because of the clouds, these acid clouds, Venus is the hottest planet, about 500 degrees Celsius. It has no water, and life cannot survive there. Only certain rocks are on Venus because of how hot it is. And most planets rotate clockwise. Venus rotates the opposite way from the other inner planets. Our third planet in this order is Earth, which is where we live. So Earth is 70% water. So that's why when we look at a picture of Earth on a map or a globe, most of it is blue because of all the water. It's 70% water. And then only 30% is land. But as we know, even this land mass on Earth is huge. So Earth is pretty big. Earth is the only planet in which the universe that has life. So we go to any other planet, we're not going to see any other animals or human beings, things like that. And it has an atmosphere of gases that is around Earth. Mars. So Mars is our fourth planet. It is the largest volcano in the solar system, or the largest volcano is on Mars, We call it the Olympus Mons. So the biggest volcano is on Mars. Mars also has seasons like Earth, and that's because of the tilt of the planet. So Mars is kind of tilted at an angle. It's kind of similar to how Earth is tilted, but not quite the same. So rocks from Mars have landed on Earth from meteor impacts. So some rocks from Mars that have broken off and kind of floated into space, they have came and crashed into Earth as meteors. And it says the average temperature on Mars is about negative 67 degrees Fahrenheit. So these are 4 inner planets. They are the first 4. The outer planets, which is Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, these are the last 4. So these are the 4 that are the farthest away from the sun. So Jupiter is the largest planet. So it says that Earth could fit into Jupiter over 1,300 times. So Jupiter is really big. So if you think about how big Earth is and then multiply that by 1,300, we would kind of get the size of Jupiter. Jupiter is made up of mostly gas. So the majority of Jupiter is just a big gas. It says Jupiter's famous red spot is a great storm that has raged for at least 400 years. So if you kind of look at this map, that kind of red circle-ish area, it would be like the red storm. It's just a really bad storm that has been going on nonstop for a very, very long time. It has the strongest pull of gravity. So we have gravity on Earth. That's when we jump, gravity pulls us back down to Earth. Jupiter's gravity is a lot stronger. So if you can jump 3 feet in the air on Earth, you might can only jump 1 feet in the air in Jupiter because of how strong the gravity is. And it says here, if we were able to stand on the surface of Jupiter, we would weigh 3 times as much as we do on Earth. So if we weigh 30 pounds on Earth, we are going to weigh 90 pounds on Jupiter. Saturn. So Saturn should be really easy for us to pick out because it is the only planet that has that ring around it. So Saturn is the second largest planet, and there's many moons of Saturn. Some are like fire and really hot, and some are really cold like ice. It says it has at least 24 moons. Saturn's rings are believed to be particles of an old moon orbiting the planet smashed apart in a collision about 50 million years ago. So that ring, some scientists think that a moon crashed or collided with something else, and it kind of exploded or broke apart, and that's what formed that ring. A year on Saturn would take almost 30 Earth years. So by the time Earth traveled around the sun 30 times, Saturn would only travel around it once. So it says Saturn is twice as far away from the sun as Jupiter. So even though Jupiter is the planet right in front of Saturn, it's still twice as far away. And Uranus. This is the last planet. So it takes over 84 years on Earth for Uranus to orbit around the sun. So once Earth travels 84 times around the sun, Uranus will only travel once. It is the only planet in our solar system to rotate on its side. And if we were able to see Uranus moons orbiting the planet, they would go over and under the planet like lights on a Ferris wheel. Its pale blue color is caused by methane in its atmosphere, which filters out red light. So again, this is just kind of a review on what you guys should have done last week. Once you finish listening to this video, I want you guys to complete the exit slip that I will have. Our last planet is Neptune. So Neptune sometimes orbits the sun further away than Pluto, making it the most distant planet in the solar system. Neptune has not completed a full orbit until 2011. So since it was discovered in 1846, it's taken all the way up until 2011 to rotate around the sun. And it says it takes 165 years for the planet to go around the sun. So for the Earth to travel around the sun 165 times, Neptune would only travel around it once. Neptune has the strongest winds in the solar system. It has a dark spot similar to Jupiter's red spot. So, like the red spot on Jupiter, which causes storms, Neptune has a dark spot that is very similar, that has storms as well.